So Nicky, how are the questions looking? We've got 8 minutes left before we let you get on with your evening's
Yeah,
work.
we still have a lot. We have answered 23. There's still 15 open.
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot of things in the chat as well. It was an interesting question in the chat. That the question was about the pro members and the course. If there's a difference for the courses for the pro members and the basic members.
So the courses can be bought by someone who's a basic member. So you need to be at least on the basic membership, which is free for everyone, and that's so that you're able to access it. Pro members do get a discount on courses. So say thank you for being a paid member for us, a pro member. You get a discount. You also get early access on courses that have got limited availability. So all courses will go to pro members first. The discount for pro members for this particular course isn't as much as it is just for everyone attending this webinar, which you'll have with your discount code. So normally a pro member will get 10 to 15 pounds off the standard course price, whereas we're offering all of you for attending that special price just as a one-off of £39.99. Pro members do get access to additional courses, or they will have once they're being developed. But you also get, the main thing for the pro members is you get 4 times as many session plans, you get access to season-long program templates, you get access to our advanced player assessment spreadsheet, and you basically just get a lot more of the content ahead of time and a greater volume of it. And in particular, I think, and what I've heard from other coaches, the best value for being a pro member is that you have these not one-to-one, but these small group chats with coaches, not just myself, not just Nicky, but other coach educators and other professional coaches that I know amongst my network. And we'll be even subjects such as goalkeeping webinars and discussions like that. So that's the main advantage of being a pro member. Like I've said, though, there will always be a free version of Pro 7 Soccer because we want to help as many coaches as possible, and even those that aren't able to don't have the resources to pay for it but are giving everything to their players, we want to give as much to you as well.
We're seeing a lot of people are thanking us and are saying that they're really happy with the presentation. We won't be able to answer all the questions. There's still 16 questions that are open, and I think some of these questions, how would you say game model differs from style of play? How would you, sometimes you have an idea about your game model, but you have to adapt. They're fantastic questions that we can talk about for over an hour. I'm gonna give Aaron some extra work. I hope he likes it, or maybe he doesn't, but that's his problem. Some of these questions that we're not able to answer right now, we'll try to answer later on by typing the answer. And when we send the link around, where we send the feedback to you on your email, I will try to include those answers in that as well, if that's possible. Do you think that's possible, Aaron?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, look, we'll aim to do as much as possible. It's just all about capacity. And the thing is it's great to have these questions because it gets you thinking. No, I don't believe anyone's 100% expert. There are people that maybe at 99%, Marco Bielsa, Marcelo Bielsa and Pep Guardiola, etc. We're nowhere near those levels, but hopefully we've given you some information, and I love learning as well, so I'm more than happy to talk about it. Are there any questions now? I'm happy to stay on, Nicky, if there are questions. Just
okay, I'll go with the ones who have the most thumbs up. There's one of the questions of Ernald. He's saying many times unsuccessful results and some external pressures can force us to change the original model. How much will this affect the players and basically the whole team?
Well, the thing is if you change your model, it's about how easy it is to implement the new way of playing. And with different models, there come different amounts of communication requirements between players. If you have, I know of a very successful coach playing locally, coaching locally to me here in Bristol in England, whose philosophy is the ball should not stay in our half. Okay, it just shouldn't stay in our half. If we have an opportunity to get the ball out of our half, it's going to be very difficult for the other team to score. Okay, so the phrase is, it goes long. Okay, if we have it from our goalkeeper or for our defenders, we clear long and we get the ball into that half, and then we try and play off of the positional and the territorial game we've made. That doesn't take a long time to practice. In fact, it probably doesn't require practice. It's a message which says, if you get the ball in this half of the pitch and our half of the pitch and our goal, you get it into the other half, and then we chase and we try and play off of it. It's very rudimental, it's very basic, but it can be effective. They're playing at a very high amateur level locally, and they're being very successful with it. They're in the County Cup final. So I don't knock it, it can work. So How much it can affect players depends on how complex the game model is that you're changing towards.
I think it's one of the questions that are coming as well is that sometimes I don't have so much time. The game model in itself, like Aaron said in the beginning, is how can we make it more predictable for our team? What are we going to do when the ball is there, when the opponent, what do we do as a team? So we try to make it more predictable for us. Now, you can be extremely simple, uncomplicated in these things. If you have the ball in your own half, as fast as possible at the other half. It's not complicated at all. Have the ball, kick it deep. And you can be successful with this. The problem is that this is also predictable for the opponent. With more time, you can add to be more unpredictable for the opponent, but you also want to stay predictable for your own team. So with more time, you can make it more complicated for your own team. Another good question that came was, yeah, but what if the other team is very strong in some part, or I'm very weak at something? Do I adapt, or do I stay doing the same thing? Maybe a good rule of thumb in this is I think we have a coach, Mourinho, is extremely good at this and analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of the other team, and to say, well, if they have a Ferrari and I have a Fiat 500, then I just need to get their tires to make sure they can't drive anymore. And the best example was this match against Ajax in the final that they were playing, and they said Ajax is extremely good in midfield. They press really good. They said good pressing traps. It's very unpredictable, very difficult for us, but it's very predictable for them. Now, then you can do two things. You can say, is my midfield, is my team better to keep playing through this good press? Then you don't adapt. But if you feel that your team is not good at this part, is not so good at playing through, then you have to find a way around. If there's a hole in the road, do I make my car stronger, or do I go around the hole? And what did he do? He put Fellaini up top and said, well, I'm not giving you the chance to press in the midfield. The ball goes over you. And he was extremely successful, 2-0. So it depends on your team. We are not able to answer that question for you. If you think this is what the other team is good at, they're good at defending low, well, are we better to keep playing through it, or do we need to adapt? And in your game model, there should be enough flexibility to be able to adapt, as long as it stays predictable. And another question came down to this, but how do you teach principles, or how do you, well, principles are a good thing that are true in every situation. That will definitely be touched upon in the course as well. Yeah?
So you're absolutely right, Nicky. And if we just choose one example of a principle might be that we apply pressure, okay? We apply pressure as soon as we've lost the ball. Now, if we're playing against a team that are very good at retaining the ball, our tactical decision for that one particular game is, yes, we want to apply pressure, but not in the high third, okay? We might decide that we're going to apply pressure in the middle third or in the low third, because if we get too stretched and we apply pressure against a team that's good at keeping it up in the high third, then we're leaving lots of space behind us for them to exploit. Okay, so then it's a simple tactical change to go, I want to apply pressure in the middle or apply pressure in the low area of the field. But the principle of how you apply pressure, the techniques that you use that you should have taught over time, the communication between your players, the speed at which you do it, the intensity with which you do it, doesn't change. All of that game model is still applicable. You'll just use the different tactic to apply that pressure in a different part of the field. The actual way that you approach that doesn't change at all. So there's your principle and your game model staying true, but adapting tactically against a superior opponent.
Some people are also saying, oh, I have a game model that I have prepared and that I want to go into depth. Can we talk about this? This is something that for these webinars today is maybe not possible, but it could be something that in the future subscribe to the courses that are being done, and then there can be a much more one-on-one talking even with other coaches. With over 200, I think we had, well, there was a lot of people at one time that were here. We're not able to go in depth with all of you. We also don't know your team, but definitely there's a lot of possibilities even on our website. Become a pro member and do all these things to go into more depth with you personally. Yeah.
I'm just looking through the questions myself. It's the first chance I've actually had a chance to look at them. There's some fantastic questions there, guys. I'm really sorry I'm not going to be able to answer all of them. I think there are some great topics there for other webinars and other courses, and we will look to provide follow-up information as much as we can. We've just gone 9 o'clock, so I'm going to let you all get back to your evenings if you're in Europe, back to your afternoons if you're in America, mornings if you're in Asia, and anywhere else in the world. It's incredible to have so many of you join us. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you've gained something from the webinar. I very much look forward to interacting with you again through social media and through other means as well. Nicky, thank you once again very much for your support and your input and your knowledge. And it's your turn next time.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much.